Straight ahead on 12 News, a new place in Plymouth to help young athletes get a leg up on the competition. Plus, a Brooklyn Park woman's battle against a rare disease.
It's definitely a blow, and a mental blow, an emotional blow when you look at your family.
It's the same disease that recently claimed the life of a famous sportscaster. But first, a new federal grant that will help a local hospital battle youth drug and alcohol abuse. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. We start with an issue emergency room doctors deal with on a weekly basis.
Drug and alcohol abuse, and it's an issue North Memorial Medical Center is trying to tackle head on. As Delane Cleveland reports, they're getting help from the federal government to fight the problem.
The emergency department at North Memorial is a bustling place where doctors and nurses encounter a gamut of issues.
Treating people for sepsis, cardiac arrest, severe trauma.
The sickest patients are brought to the stabilization room, and doctors say several times a week people come in for drug overdoses.
Any age, any gender, and sometimes it's an accidental thing, sometimes it's an intentional overdose. Sometimes it's an overdose on a prescribed medication. Sometimes it's an overdose on an illicit medication.
He says alcohol is the primary culprit, along with heroin and prescription painkillers.
There is something sad about each one of those, because most of the time, a lot of those overdoses could have been prevented.
Prevention requires hard work.
It takes a village.
Leanne Mortensen leads a North Memorial-sponsored coalition called Partnership for Change, which just received a $625,000 federal grant to fight drug use among Twin Cities youth.
Osseo, Robbinsdale, and Brooklyn Center school districts are all partners of ours with the grant.
The grant helps coordinate efforts within the community with examples such as the T2T campaign aimed at preventing underage drinking and drug use.
The money really is more for broad-based community support, looking at how do we make sure kids don't have access. Part of that is working on the laws that we have and making sure that the policies and the laws in place are enforced.
With that community support, the hope is that they'll prevent young people from using drugs and ensure that they don't end up in the emergency department.
We don't want to put ourselves out of a job, but we would be happy to put ourselves out of a job if we didn't have to take care of people who are so sick or injured.
In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The same grant is also helping Brooklyn Park Police curb underage alcohol abuse. Since partnering with North Memorial a year ago, officers are putting in more resources to find and prosecute adults who provide alcohol to minors. In one recent case, employees at Brunswick Zone noticed a woman buying alcoholic drinks for a teen. The employees called police, who arrested 21-year-old Alexis Campbell. Providing alcohol to a minor is a gross misdemeanor. It can lead to a $3,000 fine and up to 1 year in jail.
Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park Police are asking residents to be on the lookout for two men going door to door trying to sell raffle tickets. Officers have taken 2 reports of suspicious behavior in neighborhoods by 93rd and Zane Avenues. However, they suspect more residents have seen the men and simply not called 911. The men are described as white and in their 20s or 30s. In both reported cases, the men had green pamphlets. However, police were not called in time for the men to be identified.
We don't have any reason to believe they've committed a crime yet, but we don't have them as solicitors licensed within the city right now, which is concerning to us.
If you see this type of activity, you are asked to call 911.
A Crystal man will serve jail time for running a fraudulent used car business. Zachary Moore started Civics Reborn, which was supposed to sell refurbished Honda Civics. Instead, prosecutors say Moore duped customers into paying thousands of dollars up front for a car that they never received, or in some cases, a car that wasn't safe to drive. Moore was sentenced to 100 days in jail and 10 years probation. He must also pay $250,000 in restitution to more than 30 victims.
Today, Maple Grove officials checked for damage at the high school after a frozen pipe burst over the weekend. It caused water damage to about 1/3 of the high school gym floor. Fortunately, that section of floor was actually going to be replaced by a gym addition project. However, the damage will affect school activities, including home basketball games, which will be moved this week and next to an undetermined location. Well, actress Audrey Hepburn died from it. It also recently claimed the life of sportscaster Stuart Scott.
We are talking about appendix cancer, a rare disease that affects 1 in a million people. As Sonia Goins reports, a Brooklyn Park woman is also fighting the rare disease.
That was our current family picture taken this October.
46-year-old Angel Harrington is a suburban wife, businesswoman, and a dedicated mom.
My son's now 14. I was able to see him graduate elementary school and going into high school now.
She likes to cheer for her son's baseball team and take yearly family vacations.
This is actually Mazatlan.
But Angel's world was turned upside down 3 years ago.
I woke up in the middle of the night. I had intense abdominal pain.
She went to Maple Grove Hospital where she learned she had appendicitis and had emergency surgery to remove the organ.
When I woke up from anesthesia, the doctor said, "We removed the appendix, but it's a long road. You have a long journey from here. It's not over."
She was diagnosed with cancer of the appendix.
It's definitely a blow, and a mental blow, an emotional blow.
She was unsure of the road ahead.
You look at your family, and all you think is, I want to see my child graduate elementary school. I want to see him go to the prom. I want to see him fall in love.
The cancer generally does not go outside the abdominal cavity, but it spreads quickly and is very difficult to treat.
The surgeon will go in and remove any infected organs, gallbladder, appendix if you still have it, any female reproductive organs.
Angel's cancer was caught early, so she gets CT scans every 6 months.
To date, I have not had to have treatment.
She also joined a local support group
We didn't realize how many people were local.
to get her through tough times.
Just an exchange of information and supporting each other when you feel like you need that.
Angel is optimistic about her future.
I'm very hopeful. I feel great after 3 years. I've seen a lot of loss in our support groups over the years.
She says her rare cancer has taught her to appreciate life more.
And you start to enjoy the little things, watching your son play basketball, laughing with the family, playing a board game. Those are really the important things, and it's the small things to really savor.
Now, there are different forms of appendix cancer. Some are more aggressive than others. Now, finding a good doctor is key to survival, but the cancer is so rare, less than a handful of surgeons specialize in this type of cancer in Minnesota. And Alex and Cassie, if people want to know more information, they can log on to our website.
All right, 12.tv. Thanks a lot, Sonia. Up next, another example that sports is big business.
We'll tour the latest training facility to open here in the area. Then later, the Hopkins girls basketball team scores an impressive win in its conference opener. We'll have highlights.
But first, the forecast you've been waiting for. A streak of 30s, believe it or not, starts later in the week.
For businesses, 2015 appears to be the year to fly the friendly skies. According to Plymouth-based Travel Leaders Group, business travelers plan to fly considerably more this year. 46% expected bookings to increase, just 5% plan to fly less. According to the survey, the top concern for business travelers by a wide margin is, of course, delayed flights. Well, it's estimated at least 35 million kids between ages 5 and 18 play in organized sports.
From sports training programs to sports travel, youth sports are big business. In this week's Business Matters, we visit a new dry land training facility in Plymouth that's geared to give young athletes the edge. With each step, 14-year-old Cole Seifert hopes he's getting a leg up on the competition.
They got all the instructors helping you throughout all your exercises, and they have a weight sheet that they give you that have different exercises and reps for what you're supposed to do for that day.
The Wayzata Central Middle School student is one of dozens of young athletes training to improve their game at the new Acceleration Northwest Sports Training Center. It's a 7,500 square foot dry land facility built onto the Plymouth Ice Center.
We do basketball, football, all the running sports. We kind of break it down into either the hockey specific training or the running sport training. And then everything in between is just trying to become a better athlete.
5 seconds. 3.
From speed and agility to strength training and plyometrics, this facility represents a public-private partnership.
It's just a win-win situation for the city, for Acceleration Northwest.
The City of Plymouth and the Wayzata Youth Hockey Association paid for construction of the $1.3 million facility. Acceleration Northwest now has a 10-year contract to lease the facility from the city.
For the next 10 years, we're going to be receiving $65,000, $70,000 in non-ice revenue coming in. So helps our budget as well.
While helping the Ice Center's bottom line, Acceleration Northwest picks up business from the busy youth hockey scene, as this sports training facility works to give all young athletes like Cole Seifert the competitive edge. The training facility serves adults too, and the space also offers chiropractic, physical therapy, and massage therapy services for sports injuries. Coming up, science, math, and technology spliced together for an action-packed robotics weekend in Osseo.
But first in sports, Breck rallies to win a big conference boys basketball game. John Jacobson has the highlights coming up next. Well, John, it was a heartbreaker for the conference opener over the weekend.
Hopkins
For
girls.
Edina,
Yeah,
Not for Hopkins.
my alma mater, yes.
That's right.
Heartbreaker
Your alma mater
for
had a tough night.
for Edina, yes.
Very good game for Hopkins, though. The Hopkins girls basketball team was riding a 7-game winning streak heading into their late conference opener. The top-ranked Royals figured to get a good test when they hosted 10th-ranked Edina at home. Royals worked the ball around well here to Nia Holly, and she'll knock down an 18-footer. And it's a 9-4 Hopkins lead. Man, the Royals go on a run from there. Evelyn Knox with a 3 from the top of the key, and that one makes it 18-4. Edina trying to keep it close. Jill Morton passes ahead to Annika Jank for the layup, and that pulls the Hornets within 13. But that is as close as they get. Holly draws a defense and dumps a pass to Liz Bolver with a basket and foul here. And Hopkins is up by 18 points at halftime. Second half, Holly with a behind-the-back dribble. They dish nicely to Ashley Bates for the layup. The Royals turn this game into a rout. Knox will hit another 3. She's one of 4 players to score at least 9 points in the game for Hopkins, and they win big, 67-30. In boys basketball, the Breck Mustangs are having a very good season. They hosted St. Paul Academy in an IMAC conference game. SPA is red hot to start this one. Delonte Payton with a 3-pointer for a quick 17-4 Spartans lead. Breck battles back though. Henry Cousineau drives at baseline, kicks it out to Will Culleton for 3. Culleton had a big game for the Mustangs. SPA pushes their lead back to double figures. Abdul Salam Osman faces up, makes a nice spin move and scores for a 33-23 lead. It's only 35-30 at the half though. Second half, Payton attacks, drives all the way, and scores 2 of his 21 points. Spartans lead by 4. Breck surges ahead here. Molawal to Justin Bergerson to Culleton for a short jumper, and it's 45-44 Breck. St. Paul Academy has an answer. Ken Hansen anticipates the pass. He gets the steal. He'll dunk it, and it's a 23-point night for him. Breck will storm back behind some clutch shooting. Culleton right on from the top of the key. He scores 37 in the game. Breck goes up by 4. Law adds 21, including a 3 from the corner, as Breck wins 71-66, and they are now 11-3 on the season. Two of the best girls hockey programs in the state over the past several years faced off when Blake met Benilde-St. Margaret's, and it was senior night for the Red Knights at St. Louis Park Rec Center. Highlights from this one from the Rec Center in first period. Watch Blake's number 22, Carly Bullock. She'll weave through the defense of Benilde and score, getting the Bears on the board in the first period. 1-0 game after 1. Blake goalie Anna Crusoe will make 2 big stops here on Crystal Sorum and Zandy Swedberg, and covers up on the puck, preserving the shutout for her team. Late second period, Blake on the power play. A shot from out high. Carly Lund is there to score on the rebound to put the Bears up 2-0 through 2. And they put the game away in the third period. Phoebe Warner passes to Bullock, who scores on a breakaway. Blake is now 16-1 in the season. They blank Benilde-St. Margaret's 3-0. In prep wrestling, District 279 rivals Osseo and Park Center went head-to-head on the Orioles' home mat. Park Center will take the first 2 matches, including a pin in just 23 seconds by 8th grader Gunnar Nelson over Connor Wayne in the 113-pound match. The Pirates take a 9-0 lead, but the tide turns after that. At 1:26, Park Center's Nick Mazzucchello has a late lead and has a cradle locked on, but he gets in a bad position, and Ethan Quezada will pin him in the final seconds to get the win. Good matchup at 1:32. Metro Lewison using the chin drop to take Park Center's Melvin Wilson to his back. Wilson, one of the Pirates' best wrestlers, tries to battle out of it, but sophomore Lewison gets a pin, and the Orioles take an 18-9 lead on Park Center. At 145 pounds, Farron Abdisa of Osseo trails most of the way. He grabs the ankle and gets a takedown on the way, edging Isaac Mansfield in 8-7, and Osseo's string of wins continues. Osseo's Carson Brolsman is ranked #1 in the state at 152. He wrestles at 160 pounds in this match, and he gets a fall in the first period, and Osseo cruises to a 54-17 win. And that is a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Up next, a competition that usually produces a few curveballs.
Local students test their high-tech metal in robotics when we come back.
And finally, a fast-paced competition that could lead to a future high-tech career.
Over the last several months, area high school students have been working on building robots. As Neil Persley reports, this weekend they put their work to the test.
I can't. Oh, the thing's in the way with my wheel.
It's a frenzied tournament of robotic athletics.
I don't know if we can do too much.
More than 250 students competed, including 6 Osseo high school teams, in the metro area VEX Robotics state qualifying tournament. Among them was senior Nathan Limmer, who has designs on a career in engineering.
And it combines a lot of different aspects of it: mechanical, computer, electrical. And so that's just really interesting to me.
VEX Robotics is the fastest growing robotics competition around the world.
The competitions can get pretty intense.
Osseo senior high teacher John Licciardi served as the tournament coordinator.
There's a lot more problem solving involved. These kids not only have to build the robots that they have mechanically, they have to code them, so they have to know some computer science code.
I know I had thinking, am I backwards or forward?
15-year-old Sydney Arbogast competed with her teammate Elizabeth Heinlein.
I learned how to code and I just kind of liked it and kept doing it. And she's really good at the building part of it.
It might seem like all fun and games, but the real world has a very keen interest in these students. The Minnesota Colleges and Universities 360-degree program targets young engineers like these.
What our goal is to help connect them to careers in modern manufacturing. The skills they're learning and are applying as they work this whole season are the type of skills manufacturers are looking for.
What we just did wasn't the best because our battery died, but otherwise it was performing overall pretty great, which is awesome.
In Osseo, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
Oh, nice one, guys.
Well, Osseo had 2 teams qualify for the state tournament held in St. Cloud later this month. Very cool.
Oh, you think of all the things they learn, critical thinking skills.
And having a lot of fun as well.
That's right, and then put it to the test and see how it goes.
Well, thanks. That's all for the news for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4. Community Corners coming up next.